I know I've got to do a lot of editing this morning, but here's the thing. I've got to stop and get me something to eat. So let me do that. Then I'll come back and I'm going to share some more information with you that's very important for this particular show. Poster board. Here's the deal today. We are in a dilemma because I've been calling all around Houston trying to get a company to videotape us this week or in the next week, and everybody is busy. Everybody is busy for about the next 3 or 4 months. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to wait another 3 or 4 months. I want to go ahead and get this out of the way because I have a timeline. Remember in Shark Tank, without a timeline it's just a dream? I don't want to be a dreamer. I want to reach my goals. So I started making phone calls, and I found an individual in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was like, Atlanta, Georgia? There's no one in San Antonio or Austin that you're affiliated with? I've got to come all the way to Atlanta to videotape. OMG. So, got with the ladies. The lady said, the ATL? Oh yeah, we'll go. It's hot Atlanta. Oh yeah, we'll go videotape in Atlanta. I said, you all know we got to go in the next 2 days? Yeah, that's fine. Well, just fine. I say, no, we got a lot of equipment and stuff to take with us. So, Dominique and myself and Crystal decided that we're going to drive to Atlanta. There's 13 and a half hours. We're driving to Atlanta. And Crystal and, Tiffany and Jalecia and Lisa said, I'm not driving to Atlanta, I'm flying. We'll meet you all there. And I said, okay, fine. So, what we had to do was speed everything up, get ourselves ready. I had to go pack. In the morning, 12:01, that's midnight. We got to be in Atlanta by 1, no later than 1:30, because remind you, Atlanta's traffic is horrific after 3 o'clock. So we've got to get to the hotel in Buckhead, Georgia, and then drive all the way back into Atlanta for 5 o'clock for the studio, because we have the studio rented for 6 o'clock. Now, let's go back for a minute. I have 2 decisions I got to make. 2. This first one is videotaping in Atlanta. Having a production company to videotape in Atlanta. Okay, now we get to Atlanta, right? We're in Atlanta, we're on the 85, going north. We get to the studio, we have to find the studio, get to the studio, dress up, put our makeup on, all of the above, hairstyles, all of that. And then we begin to start working in the confession room. Now that's where they have all the lights, and they have everything set up, and it's coming straight on you, and they're asking you question after question after question after question after question about this person, that person, what did you do when you did that, all of that. Remember, I'm showing you the behind the scenes, right? So I go in the confession room, I do my little duty, they ask me about an hour and a half worth of questions. I was like, okay, y'all gotta do somebody else? Y'all have to ask me all the questions? So then I leave out the confession room and I get dressed to go in the studio and start shooting the footage for the intro. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I finished my part. Took a long time because, you know, it took a long time for me because I had to limber up a little bit. Anyway, so Crystal go in the confession room. She comes out in the whim. She goes out and she started, you know, in the studio. Until I receive a phone call and they're asking me, okay, now we have Crystal, we have Dominique coming up, okay, Jalecia just made it 30 minutes ago, so she's getting dressed to go in the confession room. So what time is Lisa and Tiffany getting here to the studio? Because the studio is only set from 6 to 9 o'clock. After that, yeah, late fees. Okay. So while Crystal's in the studio, get a phone call from Lisa, and I'm like, hey, are you all here? Because we're almost finished with our part, and we need to get you and Tiffany so we can go ahead and move on to the next set. Y'all got to do the confession room and the studios. And Lisa, girl, we are still in Atlanta, in Houston. And I'm like, what? Why are you all still in Houston? You're supposed to be in Atlanta. Okay, here's the thing. I'm the type person that when I do something and there comes a fork or something in the road that stops me or messes me up, guess what I do? I get to the end result real quick. I don't have time to talk about who did what, why they did it, when they did it, and all that. We'll come back to that later. I need to get to the end result right now. So I get on the phone, they get on the phone from their end while Crystal's in the studio. All of this happening at the same time. Dominique is in the confession room. They're in the studio doing their thing, confession room, just doing whatever they're doing. Okay, I'm on the phone trying to think, who can I call to with Delta Airlines to get them on a flight so that they can get here in a timely manner. Because we're talking about 3 hours here. 3 hours. We have an hour and a half left. Now, how am I get them here from 3 hours and we have an hour and a half left for the studio?